Hello everyone. Hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another reaction episode to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's right, Minus One. Hello, what's up? Okay, Buffy time. Last time on Buffy, Spike, that's just every episode at this point. But we got to see his Robo Buffy that he commissioned Warren to do. So we got Robo Buffy, and everyone mistook Robo Buffy for real Buffy, and it was kind of funny. I was also told that apparently Sarah Michelle Gellar, she actually enjoyed playing Robo Buffy because she was like, yeah, this season was too serious, so it was fun to just not do that for an episode. So that's fun. Yeah, we got Robo Buffy. That was honestly really cool. I'm really enjoying those like Robo girls we've had because there is something very endearing about what they are, but she might just be gone forever. Maybe she will get repaired. I don't know what they would do that, but it could happen. She could get repaired and reprogrammed in order to just be an ally. And it's just Sarah Michelle Gellar times two. Like that could happen. But more importantly, what happened was that Spike got kidnapped by Glory because they were like, oh, the Slayer really cares about this one guy, so we're gonna take him as a hostage. And then we're gonna try to extract information off of him because he probably knows what the key is. So we're just gonna torture the shit out of him, and they did, and we ended up saving him, not because we wanted to save him, but because we didn't want him to talk. However, by the point we got there, Spike already was kind of escaping in a weird way. Like, he made himself get it punched so hard that he freed from his restraints by aggravating Glory so much, and that was kind of fun. But yeah, he was escaping. Everyone came along, they rescued him. And Robo Buffy got maybe destroyed, fried, I don't know, on the process, and it was kind of sad. But then later what we got is that everyone in the gang was just talking about like, oh, what did you do with Spike? And then they were like, we didn't really do anything because we kind of feel bad for him because the dude was just so beat up. And I think that the makeup people went to town on fucking James Marsters, specifically for the final scene when we see him at his like crypt or whatever, just kind of hanging out, and he's so fucked up. But what happens is that Buffy approaches Spike at the end of the episode, and she's pretending to be Robo Buffy to extract information off of him, and she does. In a turn of events for her, she gets to see that Spike actually cares about Buffy, and he would not give up Dawn. He was like, I'd rather get killed before I do that. So at that point, Buffy discovers for the first time that actually this guy actually gives a shit, right? Like I think that he's evil, and I think he's a vampire that could not possibly ever care about anything. And he's proven to me that he actually cares about not giving Dawn up because he cares about me. And at that point, she's like, oh, I got this all wrong, because what we have had from Buffy this entire time is that Buffy hated Spike because she thought that he was just being fucking weird, and he was like, his obsession with Buffy came from like a weird and creepy place, not from a place of genuine care, because she, to her understanding, thought that vampires couldn't possibly care. So seeing that Spike actually does care, she was like, oh, like she had a complete redefinition of what Spike was and maybe what vampires are. I don't know. We're maybe gonna delve into that later, but her view completely shifted at that moment, and as a result of that, she kind of gave Spike like a little kiss. I don't know, like it could be as some sort of reward, but she's like meeting him to where he wanted her to be a little bit. But I don't think it came from like a place of love. It's not like, oh, he did something cool and I'm in love with him now. Like, I don't think that that's the case, but it's something like that's what Spike wanted. So she just gave it to him, and then she just left. And Spike was like, what the, like completely utterly confused. And it's crazy to me. And I was fucking freaking the fuck out during that episode because I was like, it's crazy to me that this fucking guy made a robot with Buffy's face on it and programmed her for sex. And at the end of the episode, Buffy's like, you know what? You're cool. Like, it's crazy to me how he keeps getting away with it. Like, Spike should have died like maybe 15 times at this point, and the only reason why he doesn't is because he's too pathetic, or people just take pity on him, or as of last episode, for some reason, they see some value in him, and they go like, all right, we're not gonna do that. Something that I don't think maybe I talked about too much regarding Buffy's journey that she had in the vision with the Slayer, who was the guide or whatever, or rather the guide who was the Slayer. She did say, love, give, forgive. I think that was a different version of live, laugh, love. But maybe we can take what she did with Spike at the end as forgive. I think I mentioned that. I'm pretty sure I did. It's just that somebody pointed it out to me on Patreon, but I'm pretty sure I did mention that. Or like at least I mentioned it, and like I was thinking that might be the case, but I'm not sure. Like I'm still not sure about a lot of the interpretation of what the fuck that was with the spirit guide. A friend of mine, sorry, my editor, we had a little bit of not a discussion, it was just like an exchange of like thoughts for like a second of like what is death supposed to represent. And it could be something like, living as a Slayer is like sucks so much that like death would be a gift at that point. If you were to die, you would be free from this bullshit. That could be an interpretation. I would kind of enjoy that. But yeah, ultimately, I don't know exactly where we're gonna go there. We're getting really close to the end of the season, by the way. And like, okay, this episode might be really juicy. Next 2 episodes will be really juicy. Like, no matter what, like they have to be. Because like, I think we're 3 episodes away from the finale, correct? So if we're 3 episodes away, including this one, or like, no, it's 4 with this one. 19, 20, 21, 22. If there are 22. I think there's 22. Maybe this and the next episode won't be super juicy, but definitely the final 2, because historically we got 2-parter finales. I don't know, but we're close enough that I'm like thinking, I don't know, anything could happen in this final couple episodes. And it's crazy to me we're spending this amount of time with Spike. So like I feel like the Spike shit has to come in big time at some point. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, the whole thing with Glory is, Glory has already realized that it's a person and it's an innocent. So like that just really narrows it down. So we'll see how this is gonna go. We should begin. Sorry, that was a long intro. Alright, fuck it, let's start. Patreon, check out the Patreon, link in the description below, pop up on the screen. You can support the channel, you can watch full-length reactions to every single one of these episodes. You can watch the next 2 episodes already, so we would be starting the finale on Patreon, right? Yes. So yeah, maybe you want to be in there for that. Alright, let's begin. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 5, Episode 19. Let's go.
Previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Glory isn't a demon, she's a god.
The difference between both hasn't been made clear yet.
An innocent? It's not a person.
What about the key?
I can't believe I can't believe how incompetent he was.
Slayer is going to kick your lopsided ass.
I just realized that she looked at her own ass when he said that. Okay, what are we doing? Is this college?
Professor Lillian?
Buffy.
I just came by to tell you that I have to drop this class. I'm not finishing this semester.
Benjamin, I'm sorry to fire you, but I need somebody I can count on. I haven't been here in 2 weeks. Can I just tell you it's not my fault?
Dude.
Take responsibility for your actions, Ben. This is so unfair. You're taking everything away from me. Everything I worked for, I earned, I care about. This is my life and you're ruining it.
Okay.
No, not here. Not now, please. I'm Ben. I'm Ben. I'm Ben.
I'm hungry.
Alright. I'm starting to get the impression that, like, how do I put this? Like, Ben and Glory are not necessarily on the same level. I don't know why I had that impression before, but I'm starting to think that it's not the case. I'm starting to think that, like, maybe Glory predates Ben, and Ben was created somewhat recently. And Ben is starting his own life, and maybe he's just kind of going through, like, his teenager rebellious phase of, like, fuck you, I do what I want to have my own life. And he's not getting that right now. Because he's so combative. He was so combative towards, like, the doctor guy, and it's just, like, I feel like if you were older, you would be wise enough not to feel as offended by that.
Now, I asked for the key, and you brought me a vampire. So I think you better rack your little minion brains and tell me everything that you saw when you were spying on Buffy and her wacky pals. Then I'll figure out who the key is.
You lied to me? I don't know what to say.
Dawn, why don't you wait outside for a few minutes?
Oh boy. There's no way you're kicking this girl out of your school. like 2 weeks after her mom died. All right, so Buffy's being the mother now. What are you reading, X-Men? I thought I saw Rogue, but I also thought I saw the
Honey,
Hulk.
a watch customer never buys.
They would if they were patriotic.
Patriotic?
Yes. I've recently come to realize there's more to me than just being human. I'm also an American. So I've been reading a lot about the good old SV, embracing the extraordinarily precious ideology that's helped to shape and define it. Capitalism. Dependent on the profitable exchange.
She loves money.
Look at him. Perusing the shelves. All ogle, no cash.
Anya's starting to lose me, by the way. She's starting to lose me. It's fine. I already have a favorite child, and it's Stara. Hi.
Hey, what's up? It's Don Giovanni in the Buffster.
I trust everything went well at the university.
Yep. I'm all dropped out.
Hey, she got farther than I did.
Actually, I need to talk to Giles alone. Dawn, why don't you get started on your homework? Will, could you?
It's nice that they have, like, they all have this, like, nice support system among friends. That's nice.
She's messing up. I'm messing up. It's a mess.
Ah, this is great.
I want you to do it.
No, Buffy, I don't think I can.
Please? Dawn needs an authority figure. A strong guiding hand. She'll listen to you.
I may be a grown-up, but you're her family. She needs you to do this.
You can't offload this.
Right. Okay. I can do this.
I know you can.
Please?
No.
Okay. Here we go.
So the thing about this is that she's the one that needs also support.
What is this? I thought I told you to do your homework.
I mean,
I was. We were acting out a geometry problem. Uh-huh. So we Right. I think maybe Dawn should do her homework at home. But it was working. I was really learning. Please get your stuff.
like Buffy doesn't know what to do. So she's doing all these things that don't work and they're bad, but she doesn't know how to handle the situation.
We were having good, clean, educational fun, and then all of a sudden it was all gloom
You're-
and gloom and the outlawing.
The number one thing you're doing by doing this is you're losing trust in your friends and your family.
But you just don't understand, and there's no way that you could.
I do so understand, and
I'm more than stressed out. I'm freaked out.
She's
hey, you could go to the World Culture Fair if you want to, with me and Tara. It'll be fun.
I can't do it, Will. Don't worry. It's not like I don't have a life. I do. I have Dawn's life.
oh, this sucks.
So it's her, under our noses all this time.
Who are they thinking it is? It's not Dawn. Who is it? According to them.
You all know your assignments. I think it's time to collect the key.
I mean, I guess they could think it's Dawn, but because we didn't see what they are thinking. I mean, the issue is that now I'm worried about every single person that is around Buffy's life. They might come here for Willow or Tara.
Understandable about the Krabby. She has to look after Dawn now. I mean, she's just gonna make Donnie more rebellious. I had to deal with my brother's problems after. You can't really know what it's like to. Yeah, I know that. I didn't mean to. No, I know I can't know what you went through. It's no big. This whole Buffy thing, let's just forget it. Tell me if I said something wrong. Otherwise, I know I'll say it again.
If something happens to Tara, I will burn down this house, close this channel, finish this reaction series. I'm leaving forever.
I didn't lose my mom, so I don't know. Do I act like the big knowledge woman? No. Is that no spelled Y-E-S? S-O-R-T-O. You've been doing everything longer than me. You've been practicing witchcraft way longer. Oh, but you're way beyond me there. It frightens me how powerful you're getting. It frightens you? I frighten you? I meant impressive. Well, I took Psych 101. I know what a Freudian slip is. Can't we just go to the fair? I don't feel real multicultural right now. What is it about me that you don't trust? It's not that. You're changing so much, so fast.
This is true.
I don't know where you're heading. This isn't about the witch thing. It's about the other changes in my... I don't know where I'm gonna fit in your life when I change back. I'm really sorry that I didn't establish my
lesbo street cred before I got into this relationship. You're the only woman I've ever fallen in love with, so how on earth could you ever take me seriously? Okay, so
Okay.
I'll write down all the things you're supposed to do, and when you have to do them. What? I don't want any of this. I'm just trying to give you a normal life. This is for real, Dawn. No, it's not. I'm not real. Who cares if a key gets an education anyway?
Oh shit. They heard it.
Damn it, Dawn. This is serious. Why should I care about any of this?
She might just...
Because they'll take you away. What do you mean? I can't make you go to school, and I won't be found fit to be your legal guardian.
Alright. That put things into perspective a little bit better.
You could have told me that. I just did.
I mean, yeah, it's... Okay. I mean, they just said out loud that she's the key while they were listening in, so this is really bad. I am worried about everything right now. Tara's relationship is falling apart. I'm looking at her sitting on a park bench all by herself. It makes me sad. Makes me worried. Like, Buffy's falling apart. Dawn is falling apart. Annie's turning into a capitalist. Everything sucks. It's Glory. Yeah.
Is this seat taken?
I meant what I said.
You all right?
I had a fight with Tara. It was awful.
You two don't quarrel much, do you?
Never.
I know it all seems bleak now, but as they say, this too. Shut up.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know how he knew that, but cool. I'm begging that the other minions go back and tell her that it's Dawn. But she's not gonna let Tara go anyway, so...
I will not betray Glorificus. I will never talk. Oh, don't! Oh, I'll tell you anything. Please, team.
He hasn't... Like...
What happened?
He changed his mind.
We're watching the Slayer's people while Glory fetches the key.
Yeah, she thinks it's Tara.
Glorificus will find the witch, and there's nothing you can do to stop her.
The witch.
Tara.
She's a new one among you.
Call Buffy and go look in Tara's room. I'm gonna check the fair.
You like this sort of thing, don't you?
Don't make a sound. They won't help you. I'd kill them.
You know that. There's no one here that can stop me.
I'll kill him and her, and it'll all be your fault. Kind of funny, isn't it?
All these people here and no one who can do a thing. Not a person who can help you. But that's people for you. They're pretty worthless. The keys, on the other hand...
Yeah.
You're not the key, you're nothing.
She didn't say
You're
anything.
a worthless human being. If you tell me who the key really is, I'll let you go. Think about it. You think your hand hurts? Imagine what you'd feel with my fingers wiggling in your brain. What it does is make you feel like you're in a noisy little dark room, naked and ashamed. And there are things in the dark that need to hurt you because you're bad.
I'm just like Tara right now. Things are happening and I'm just sitting here watching it.
Who is the key? Fine, let's get crazy.
Well, I will rephrase what I said, okay? No, it's happening. It's too late. What I was gonna say, I will rephrase.
Are you okay?
No, she's not.
It's all dirty and all over me. Dirty.
We have done it. We have arrived at the tower. I don't want to look at the screen. I don't care anymore. I will rephrase. Tara didn't need to die in order for me to just want to kill myself. I don't want to look at the screen. I don't want to watch the show anymore. It's all gone. It's over. It's over. I have officially stopped caring.
Hospital policy dictates we keep her for the night.
I can take care of her at home. It's poisoned. What did I tell you that? It has to be verified, of course. Anyone can tell you that. Of course. Of course.
She's got to spend one night in the psych ward, just for observation.
Do we have a time reversal spell?
I'll send a nurse by in a few minutes to pick up Tara.
Hey, Will. I'm so sorry.
We have done it. We have arrived at the tower. This is the tower right here.
I'm sorry it took me so long, but I'm safe with Spike, so I can stay as long as you need.
I'm so scared.
Nothing to be worried about, kid. No one's gonna hurt you.
Same no one who did that to you?
What, these? It's just a few.
Oh, he's still fucked up.
Nothing to write home about. Don't get scared. Maybe Glory doesn't want to kill you. Maybe it's something
worse.
Yeah, unmake you in a way. I mean, they know it's Dawn now because they heard it, so fuck my life. Like, the episode can only get worse, and it's already at the worst it's ever been for me personally.
Hey.
You want to know what I'm scared of, Spike? Me. Right now, Glory thinks Tara's the key. But I'm the key, Spike. Anything that happens to Tara is because of me.
Alright, it's the guilt of it.
Your limp? That's all me, too.
At a certain point, she's just gonna go and say, I'm the key, take me. She just feels guilty over this.
I must be something so horrible to cause so much pain and evil.
rot. I'm a vampire. I know something about evil. You're not evil.
Don't! Please don't with that treachery!
My only hope right now is that, like, Dawn being the key is something that can somehow heal Tara, like fucking Jesus Christ. Because we don't know what the fuck that is.
Sleep without her.
But that is my... I'm starting to hate Anya.
Right now, there's nothing you can do.
Yes, there is.
Spell. We're gonna do something weird.
You cannot even think about taking on Glory. You saw what she did to Tara.
Oh, you're gonna do that.
Even I'm no match for her, you know that. But maybe I am. This is not your choice, it's mine. This is not the time. When is? When it's dawn, is that it? When we have a chance. Fine, I'll wait. It's the only way.
I don't think she'll wait. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Darkest match. It has to look intimidating. You have to open it by hitting it. Alright. Willow's going dark mode.
What a mind she had. Nummy treat.
Maybe also when Glory dies, the Mind Street Heathen return. I'm just coping. I'm just going out of my mind at this point.
Did anybody order an apocalypse?
Does she have dark eyes? I think so.
Era, coolness, tonic.
Name all of the battle gods.
That's so cute.
Hold mine victim, as in talk.
I owe you pain.
So I don't think Willow can take on Glory, but she's gonna make her suffer for this episode for a little bit.
How's Willow? She was looking to go all paybacky on Glory for a minute. I cooled her down a little.
So
Not
she's
enough.
not going to do anything rash, though.
I explained there was no point.
There's no point in you explaining that there's no point. Like, it's not about that.
So you're saying that a powerful and mightily pissed off witch was planning on going and spilling herself a few pints of god blood until you explained?
Yeah.
I told Willow it would be like suicide.
I'd do it.
Yeah.
Right person.
Yeah.
Person I loved.
Yeah.
I'd do it.
If Glory had done that to me,
Which is also what Willow said to her.
You think I care about all this? The apartment, the clothes? Now, sucking on your girlfriend's mind? That was something to treasure.
This music.
What's this? Bag of tricks?
Bag of knives. And smell of fear.
The number one spell you should try to get is a spell that makes you impervious to damage. Spit on her.
No! You know what they used to do to witches, lover? Crucify them.
They
Hi.
used to bow down to gods.
Oh, that laugh.
Things change.
Thanks, Spike, for making Buffy realize this.
That witch really slowed me down. Thicken. This isn't over, you hear me? It isn't over!
It's crazy to me how, like, Tara having her brain sucked, like, happened in the first, like, 30% of the episode. And then the episode just kind of kept going as if my level of care on this show hadn't just completely faded after that had happened. Like, if Willow had died in that scene, I would not have cared. That's how affected I am by the Tara situation.
Tara?
Plastic and their 6 sisters. Six sisters. Oh, let's just start slow today. Here you go. That's my girl.
Can I help? What are you gonna need?
They said I might have to restrain her at night. But sometimes she's fine. She looks at me and she's fine.
This is just like dealing with like dementia. That's what this says.
I'm gonna take care of her. Even if she never. She's my girl.
I understand.
I know you do. Hear that, baby? You're my always.
They know.
I told you this wasn't over.
It's cracking! Cracking! No!
No, Tara, it's okay.
Look at that.
Oh no, Tara's gonna give her away.
Such pure green energy. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Alright, here we go. Okay. Okay, we return. I had to look out to try and find my glasses. My light also fell. I had to take care of that. Okay. I mean, I felt it very early on in the episode because we saw Glory and her minions go like, oh, so it's her. We're gonna get her. And I'm like, the fact that they didn't say Dawn, to me, it's an immediate signifier that they don't think it's Dawn. And they're trying to like get you as the audience because you'll be thinking Dawn and it's like they're gonna go for someone else. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, who are they going after? And then in my head, I thought, well, Tara is relatively new, so that would sort of make sense, which is exactly what I thought. And then Tara and Willow started fighting, and I'm like, this happens every goddamn time. Like, gay people can never have a relationship in fiction without one of them dying. This is what happens every goddamn time. They go like, we're gonna run away together, and then they fucking die. One of them dies, the other one doesn't. It's always one or the other. And also, I kept remembering how someone told me that the reason why Tara isn't in the intro sequence is because the actress who plays Tara, I'm sorry I forgot her name, I'm not good with names, but the actress said that she wasn't sure if she wanted to stay in the show for long, so she wasn't feeling super confident over occupying an intro slot. So as a result of that, I thought to myself like, okay, Tara's in the chopping block, in the way that everybody is always on the chopping block, right? But some characters to me are not, because they would fuck with the dynamic too much. First of all, Buffy, because Buffy is the main character. Even if she dies, she doesn't, like it happened in season 1. Willow and Xander, I don't think they're going away. Maybe Giles would go away just to like have the mentor figure die, but I think that the show would drastically change if Giles were to die. Even Joyce is okay for dying, which is what happened. Tara is completely fine to die. The same goes for Anya. It would suck, but completely fine. And when I say die, I understand that she's not dead. She might as well be dead because her character as it existed is dead. This is something else that looks like her. Okay, let's proceed. In my head, I just said it. I was like, if Tara dies this goddamn episode, I am going to go and burn down a church. That's where I'm at. And I guess my night is going to be busy tonight. It's like midnight, sure. Like the best time to do it would be around like 3 a.m. where no one's around, maybe. So that could work out. Like I said, watching that episode, it's crazy to me how that happened in like the first, I don't know, 40% of the episode. And then the episode just kept rolling as if like my investment in this episode just like left my body. Like as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Like if that had happened at the end of the episode, I would have been at least it would have kept me engaged in the episode to have me worried. What happened after that, watching Willow go on her like revenge crusade trying to get glory or whatever, like I would not give a fuck. If Willow had died there, I would not care whatsoever. And I think that is on the episode. Like, okay, no, I think that they understand how much people like Tara because they fucked her up in this episode, and they wouldn't have done that if they didn't understand that people enjoy her character. I mean, it also makes sense plot wise, but I think that, you know, they must know how much people love Tara, because I think that from what I understand, from what I've seen in the fan base, is that we all love Tara. This is just universal. So I think that they probably knew that. Tara stuck around from season 4. They probably, they had time in order to understand how much people like Tara. But it's funny because I think that they didn't understand exactly how much people like Tara. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just personal. Because like it's one of those things where like it happened in the episode and I immediately checked out. And I don't want to say that in like a I don't care about, well, kind of partially. The thing I care about the most in the show is probably Tara. Like straight up. Not Buffy, not Dawn, not Joyce. It's Tara. Maybe if we had brought along Faith, it would be Faith. Faith is in jail in Angel. She's not around. So it's Tara. And it's almost exclusively Tara. Even in this episode, Anya turned into a US American capitalist. I mean, we kind of saw the capitalistic thing just be there as a joke. And I guess it still kind of is a joke. But it has been around since forever. It's not a new development. But in this episode, she's like, I'm an American. I am going to be xenophobic and racist. And it's like, all right. So Anya's off the table. I don't care about her anymore. I know that it was a bed, so it's not going to be that bad forever. But it is one of those things where like, okay, so I don't care about her in this episode anymore. So I only have Tara. And I said it. Which is why later, that has to be fucking funny to watch. Because I have to imagine that somebody watches our reaction and they go like, me saying like, I already pick a favorite child, it's Tara. And they just start going, okay, something I will say. I'm coping out of my mind when I say this. But I have a feeling that maybe Tara could be restored, and I am coping by saying that in one or two ways, maybe three. One, maybe Dawn has some god shit. She's Jesus and she can restore Tara to the way she used to be. That's a possibility. We don't know what the key is or does, so that is always a possibility. And if a god is looking for the key, then the key has to have some crazy power. So that is a possibility. Two, when Glory dies or whatever, maybe the brains of all the people she's eaten will return back to where they came from in like a spiritual sense. I mean, she's not literally eating their... I don't know what she's doing to their brains. Because like, I don't know if she's like literally eating them as in the physical mass. It doesn't look like the physical mass, but I don't know what it is. I like the energy of it, I guess. I don't know exactly how that works. But if it's like the energy or whatever in like a magical supernatural bullshit sense, then I guess it could return if she dies. And when she's defeated at the end of the season, if she is defeated, but I think she might be, then maybe Tara could be restored that way. Third, we cook up a spell that can undo it. I don't know how we could do that, but maybe it could happen. I don't know. That seems very unlikely to me because we have had many instances. I'm pretty sure that Buffy wanted to do a spell like that on Joyce. Like, this is how much I care about Tara, is that when Buffy did it about Joyce, I was like, no, she's dead, bro. Just let it happen. When it's about Tara, I'm like, we have to do it. Willow, go find something. And there's a bunch of different ways in order we can maybe do it. I don't know. Find a time reversal spell. That would work. Go back in time 1 hour. And just like, just keep Tara safe. But then this would turn into Steins Gate. which would honestly be pretty cool. If Buffy turned into Steins Gate, I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that show much more than whatever Willow's like lover revenge just thing was. I mean, okay, I don't mean to be dismissive about that because I'm not, but it's just a single. I cannot emphasize enough the disparity between my level of care of Tara versus anything else. I feel like I always, if there is a character that I latch onto for whatever personal reasons, that character will so clearly tower over everything. Tower, you see what I mean? Tara was holding the tower card, by the way, at the beginning of the season. I pointed it out. I remember. I never forgot. I thought that the tower meant Joyce. No, the tower meant Tara. And I mentioned that when it happened, which is why at the beginning of the season, when I saw Tara holding the tower, I immediately, all the hair in my body just stood up. I was like, if something happens to goddamn Tara, I will never forgive the show. Immediately. I said it. I explained why I thought that, because I explained what the tower tarot card means, which is the end of a journey. It's the worst one to get. That's the tower. The death card is not that bad. The devil card is not that bad. The tower, you're fucking cooked, bro. Like, that's it. You're fucking done. And when I saw Tara pull out the tower, I was like, this is a bad omen. This is the worst omen. And like, it's one of those things where like, that is such a minor thing that it could be coincidental. I looked at it and I was like, there's no way it's coincidental that it's one, the tower, the worst one. And two, she was holding it in such a manner that it looked like she was holding it to the camera. So the audience could see it. It was very clear. It was like vertical. It was perfectly clear that it was the tower. As a result of that, I was like, that's intentional. I don't know what the tower is, but it's happening. I think we have arrived at the tower. I think this is, I mean, maybe it's just because I like Tara. Because like, definitely the show wanted you to feel harder for Joyce. We spent an entire episode, maybe the best episode of the show. And that is because it's her connection to Buffy, of course. It's her main character. I don't give a fuck. It's Tara for me, bro. Like, I was miserable watching that happen with Buffy in like a sympathetic sense. I feel bad for her. I personally feel bad about Tara right now. And I guess there is an element of me thinking to myself like, oh, okay. Calm down. Something I do want to say about Tara, moving forward into the future, is that Tara's situation right now is really weird. Tara is now essentially a dementia patient that Willow has to take care of. Like, that's kind of the parallel that they're drawing here when Willow goes like, you know, sometimes she's okay, right? But we look at her and she's just fucking gone. Like, but like, you, the person who's taking care of them, you can see it. You can see the moments where part of her is still there and kind of latches on, and that's why you keep latching onto that person, because a part of them remains. It looks like her, and you can, like, the way that she's being fed by Willow, and she keeps calling out Willow's name, it's the thing of like, she's holding onto the thing that she cared about the most, right? So that creates this weird situation for Tara as a character moving forward into the future, because like, okay, if the actress wanted to just not be in the show anymore, this wouldn't be the way, because she's still around, and Willow was like, I'm gonna continue to take care of her, so she's still around. That doesn't change anything. So what I'm thinking is, okay, this is either a good thing or a bad thing. I guess it can only be good from this point on. And it's that either Tara's gonna die again for real this time and just be gone, or we're gonna restore her. Because the situation that I was saying of like this dementia patient that Willow has to take care of, like, I guess, I mean, it will turn into something like, I don't know, Okuyasu's dad in JoJo Part 4. Right there, JoJo Part 4. Okuyasu's dad is a character in Part 4 where, okay, I'm gonna try to explain it in a simplistic way. He had something put into his brain that then mutated, and it mutated him. And now he's this like goopy creature, and he cannot be killed. Every time you like rip his arm off or whatever, it just reattaches, it just comes back. And everything about what he says and thinks is just a bunch of gibberish. Like, you don't understand him at all. But then what it is revealed like later in the episode where he's introduced is that like he's like searching for those little pieces of a picture, and then he's putting together this picture, and it's a family photo of when he used to be human, and he was taking a photo with his dead wife and his children when they were young. And then he just starts crying, and it's a thing of like, oh, like a part of that guy is still in there. maybe this guy wasn't great and a lot happened to him and he mutated and he's just this creature. But you can see how like a part of him remains when he sees that photo and he's just desperately trying to put it together. That is something similar to Tara. And what I mean by Okuyasa's dad is that Okuyasa's dad doesn't like die. He can't die. So he stays around and he's just like a minor character that shows up every now and then. And Okuyasa's just hanging out with him. Okuyasa's his son, by the way. Well, yeah, Okuyasa's dead. So Okuyasa's just seen with him every now and then. Okuyasa's like a major main like ally. He's like Willow. So he just shows up and sometimes he's just walking around with his dad and they're just hanging out. And, you know, Okuyasa's dad is kind of fun. You know, he's fun in like a sad way, but after enough episodes you get used to him. And he's just around and he's just kind of fun to see. He's just walking around, just having a good time. He's having a meal with Okuyasu and it's like, yeah, he can't really talk very much, but you get used to him, right? And they still have that like bond, like they're still together. So it's this thing of like, I could see that becoming Tara's character in the future because this episode felt weird. Because this happened to Tara and then the episode just kept going. And I was like, to me, this is like the death of a loved one, right? Like to me, it's like this episode would have to just turn into like the most depressing, just like mourning thing we've ever seen. But it doesn't do that. It instead goes into this thing where like everybody's at the psych ward and they're just saying shit and Annie is making jokes and whatever. And everybody's just sitting here just like, yeah, man, this sucks. And it's like, what do you mean this sucks? Like, yeah, it sucks. I don't see you too shaken up about it. Willow's the only one that's fucking destroyed about it, right? And it's like they didn't have the same emotion that they had when Joyce died. And that is part of the way the episode wants to present itself. But the tone, and by that I mean the tone of the episode, wasn't there in order to like meet up with how I was feeling. The tone of the episode felt lighter than where I was at. And we have a direct comparison, is something like Joyce. In the episode The Body, where in that episode the tone of the episode was just completely shifted to something so fucked up because it had to be, and that is the correct choice to do. With Tara, it felt like the episode itself didn't match with what was showing me, and maybe that's just me because I just like Tara so much. Like maybe that's just a me problem. I fully own up to that. But what that is making me think, and once again I'm coping, is that maybe Tara's gonna stick around in a way where maybe she will get better slowly or she will get fixed. She will get healed. That could happen because of the fact that we didn't mourn super hard for Tara. That's what I'm thinking. Because like, again, after a certain point, the episode just turned into Willow's like revenge. That's not mourning. And I don't think we're gonna mourn next episode. We're just gonna go immediately into whatever the fuck Laura's doing. So like, yeah, there's no mourning. And maybe it's just a time constraint, but like, we could have utilized this episode to mourn instead of like Willow's revenge or whatever. Though it makes sense that Willow would act in that way, so it would be out of character if she didn't. But the tone of the episode just wasn't there to me. It really wasn't. And again, maybe that's just me, but as a result of that, it's making me think that maybe Tara will be back. The Tara that we know and love will be back. Either through Dawn Key means, through Killing Glory means, through some weird spell, or maybe she will be like Okuyasa's dad in the way that we will continue to see her and she won't be the same character we knew, but she's going to be the vestiges of that character, you know, what remains of them, which is still something you can't really fully let go of because part of her is still there, right? You can see it. So she will be like Okuyasa's dad. She's just going to continue to hang out in some scenes alongside Willow, but not every scene, you know. But Willow would have to take care of her like every time. You can't leave her alone. So she would have to be in every scene that Willow is in. And that's okay. That's why this is not adding up to like what people told me, that like the actress maybe wouldn't want to stay for, you know, the rest of the show. Maybe, and she was self-conscious about like, you know, staying for the full season or not. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to Tara. It's so funny because like early in the episode, there was a lot of shit I wanted to talk about regarding Buffy and feeling like an adult and, you know, forcing Dawn into doing her homework and shit. I wanted to talk about that. I don't give a fuck about that anymore. I don't care. There is a lot to say there, of course, about like, you know, there's something Buffy said, which was like, you think that I don't have a life anymore, but I do. I have Dawn's life. And it's like, That's like an extremely depressing thing to say, and also an extremely unfair thing to say. That is depressing thing because Buffy's just decided like, oh, my life is done, but I can take care of Dawn, so I'm gonna do that. But at the same time, it is unfair to Dawn that you're putting that on her. And this is kind of the trap that a lot of parents fall into, which is like, they don't know how to be parents. They're doing this shit for the first time. So they're just doing the things that parents are supposed to do, which is like, you know, do your homework, do your studies, you know, you have to keep doing good. You're putting all of this like pressure and responsibility on them, but you're forgetting the most important part, which is like, even in especially in this instance, what Giles told Buffy, it's like, you're her only remaining family. She needs you to do this. And it's this thing of like, okay. But then Buffy starts to distance herself from Dawn by placing all of this like responsibility in between, and it's like, Buffy, Dawn needs you, Buffy the person, to be there for her. It's not just the responsibility that you're putting on top of her. But then Buffy explains like, what they told me is that they're gonna take you away if you don't excel in your studies. Like, if you drop the ball, they're gonna take you away. Like, social services are gonna step in. They're gonna take you to either to dad, or they're gonna take you to a foster care. Probably foster care. I don't trust Buffy's dad to ever show up again. But yeah, it's this thing where like, okay, now that kind of recontextualizes a little bit what Buffy's so freaked out. Because Buffy desperately wants to take care of Dawn. Not because she's the keeper, because that's his sister and she cares about her. She wants Dawn around and she wants to do good for her. And she's just kind of decided, okay, all right, mom is gone. I have to step up. I'm going to step up. I'm gonna do my best, and Dawn is gonna have a great life. But in doing so, she's forsaking her own life instead, which is extremely sad. It's extremely sad for both of these girls. I feel really bad about that. I feel really torn about that, because you can see all these things where Buffy's failing and she's doing all these awful things. You know, she like, they're having fun and they're learning. And Buffy is like, no, Dawn should study alone because you guys are fucking around too much. And it's the thing of like, she's losing trust in her own friends and Dawn by acting this way. And that is arguably the most important thing to keep right now. But she doesn't see that. But it's completely understandable that Buffy would just decide like, oh, like this, I have to do this. Like, practically this is what needs to happen. Otherwise they're just gonna take Dawn away. That makes complete sense to me. And even if that wasn't there, it would still make complete sense to me, because Buffy is just in the situation of like, I have to step up. Like nobody's gonna do it if I don't do it, so I have to do it. So I'm gonna be the responsible one. And it's so fun to see Buffy transition into that role from the Buffy that we started with in season 1, where she's just fucking around. She doesn't want to deal with anything. So now she's extremely responsible. That's a fun like character arc that we have had. I don't know if arc is the right word. Just like, that's where the journey has taken her, and this is the current chapter. What's interesting about that is that Buffy is also in dire need of like people grounding her and taking care of her as well. Buffy instead is just like, well, I can take care of it all, and it's like, you can't. And I do like that, you know, Sander had a moment where he was like, you know, like, if you need anything, I'll be there. I can support you, right? Like, I can help you. As like a fellow dropout that doesn't have a future. And then I just started working and I found something, and now I feel kind of happy about it. I have a home. If you need anything, let me know, right? It's this thing of like, okay, as a peer of a fellow young worker, I'm here for you. Willow is kind of helping with Dawn studying. Giles is kind of there for Buffy if Buffy ever were to ask that. But the thing is that like, Buffy needs to ask that. Buffy needs to be like, I need... Right now, Buffy is asking for help in order to help Dawn, instead of just asking for help for herself. That's what I mean. Buffy's just completely forsaking her own like being in order to just look after Dawn. And that's sad, and I think that's the wrong thing to do as well. She's losing herself in that sense. Back to Tara, back to Depression Land. I have to rewatch the scene where Willow finds Tara, because I just didn't watch that. I didn't want to look at my screen. I just completely gave up. I just fully gave up. I was like, I don't care about the show anymore. I'm done. Okay, the Tara didn't happen 40% of the episode. It was like 60%. Make you feel like you're in a nosy little dark room, naked and ashamed, and there's things in the dark that need to hurt you because you're bad, and crawl inside of your skull. And you know, if the noise and the crawling would stop, that you could remember how to get out. But you never ever will. I don't know, maybe she'll get out. I'm coping. I'm fucking coping. The way that Glory described that is interesting to me, because maybe Glory knows how that feels. I don't know. I mean, she clearly knows, but does she know from personal experience is what I'm asking. I don't know what Glory's fucking story is. I don't know what the fuck the always with Ben. Oh yeah, that happened at the beginning of the episode. Maybe Ben, because like I was under the impression that they were on like equal footing. I don't think that Ben is on equal footing that as Glory. At least that's what I'm starting to think. Ben to me feels like this rebellious teenager who's trying to branch off from their parent, who's Glory. At least that's the feeling I get of like, you know, Mom, you're ruining everything from me. Like, I just want to live my fucking goddamn life and you're not letting me. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Because, like, Ben was weirdly combative towards the doctor who told him, like, yeah, we fired you. You didn't show up for 2 weeks. It's weird to have someone be so combative of, like, such a thing that just makes sense. And I think that if it were to be an older being, I don't think that that would be your reaction. I feel like Ben feels fresh. So it would make sense. Okay, maybe Glory is in a situation like Angel is, in that, you know, she got cursed to, you know, not be herself 100% of the time. So like her human half being Ben. Do we know that Ben is human? I mean, we didn't know exactly what Ben is capable of. I thought that he was on the same level as Glory, but then he failed to kill that one guy. And he also stabbed him. He didn't like do some like crazy kung fu shit or whatever. So I don't know what Ben is capable of. So maybe Ben is supposed to be the good half, the human half. And maybe Glory is the original being. Maybe that could explain their relationship, because Ben is like, okay, I'm cursed to exist in this situation. I'm going to make the best out of my life that I can. And he's not able to. But what's interesting is that they've also been around. Well, okay, no. Because I'm thinking about the Queller demon. They've been around for centuries. But I don't know if Ben has. Glory has. Because Glory is the one that eats. I don't think that Ben eats. Maybe he does. I don't know. We haven't seen him do that. Anyway, Ben was gone for like 2 weeks. I don't know why. So I guess maybe Glory is starting to take more control over the body the more she eats. So Ben has less and less time to exist. Which then to me makes sense that it would kind of go hand in hand with what I just theorized. So that could be the case. I don't know. It's not clear. And like, honestly, who gives a shit? I'm sorry. I'm just like, I keep thinking about Tara, and like, I don't mean to come off as dismissive of anything else that happened or may happen in the show, but you can't expect me to just go on with my life as normal when this just happened to Tara, when Tara's brain is gone. I'm sorry. I'm cooked. Like, I got nothing left for you. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna murder everyone I see, kill myself, and that's the end of my life. Like, that's it. That's immediately what's gonna happen as soon as I stop recording this episode. Like, we can't even fix, like, fucking Amy the Rat, and I'm here coping out of my mind that maybe Tara will return. I don't know, man. I'm fucking done. Buffy likes haikus. Sure. That starting scene at the beginning was weird. Maybe it was just to, like, show us that Buffy's dropping out of high school. College, what am I saying? It's been a while since high school. But we never seen this professor, I don't think. The poetry professor or whatever. We got a little bit of Spike. That was nice. I like that Spike... I mean, Buffy has just accepted that Spike is good, actually. He's cool. He'll look out for them. Like, she trusts him, and that's nice. He goes for him because Spike is someone that can actually do something. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna drop Dawn up with you, and she did. And I like that Spike is trying to kind of make Dawn feel better. Again, he's like the cool uncle. He's looking out for her because Dawn is having these things where Dawn is starting to freak out over, you know, like everybody's looking for me and everyone around me keeps dying and horrible things keep happening to them. And she starts to feel guilty, and she starts to feel like, I have to be such a fucked up evil thing in order to be causing all of this. And then Spike is like, no, you're not. He's like, I know evil and you're not that. You're not evil. Then Dawn goes like, well, but it can't be good either. And Spike is like, well, I'm not good either. And, you know, I'm all right. Yeah. I don't even have a counter argument. I mean, my dude doesn't really have much of a sense of morality, but he's actually doing good here. He's protecting her. Like, yeah. So it's cool that he's actually reassuring her in a way that comes from like personal experience. And it's just an example for Dawn to be like, yeah, okay. Cool. Like, Spike is being genuinely the best figure that Dawn has. In this episode and previous episodes, he's actually the cool uncle. He's looking out for her and he's taking care of her and he's helping her. And he's actually helping her so much with just a lot of her personal crisis. And then, like, Willow lived because of Spike, because Buffy came back and she was telling Dawn about what happened. And Spike was like, you think she didn't go? You think she'll listen? And Buffy's like, what do you mean? And it's like, I'd do it. I'd go and fucking fight her. And it's like, yeah, like, I get it. I would do the exact same thing. Like I fully, let me be clear, I fully understand where Willow is coming from, and I fully understand that that's where Spike is also coming from, and he means it. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy to me that Buffy didn't get that. And it's also what Willow told her. Like, Willow mentioned her, like, when is it going to be the right time? When they come after dawn? Is it have to be dawn for you in order for you to care? And Buffy's like, Willow, please, like, you can't. And it's like, Buffy's right on a practical sense, but she's not matching Willow on like an emotional level. She's not understanding where Willow is coming from. And Willow gave her the example of like, if it were to be dawn, like, would that be the thing that sets you off? And Buffy didn't even thought about that. She heard her and completely dismissed that. And then Spike came back later and he was like, girl, right person, someone very dear to you that you love, wouldn't you do that? And then Buffy looked at Dawn and she was like, fuck. And then she just ran off instantly. But she arrived in time. That's a nice thing. It's a nice thing. We saved Willow. Willow is fine. Like, okay, at that moment, if Willow had died, I wouldn't have cared because I was still processing Tara. But I would have cared later. Like, right now, like 40 minutes after I watched this episode, I would be sad if something had happened to Willow. I don't want anything bad to happen to Willow. Like, now that it's been 40 minutes, I can say that because I'm coming down from like the Tara situation. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm going through it. This is like my fucking therapy session. I'm working through it all. And I'm finally arriving to a point where I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have anything bad to happen to Willow. I'm sorry I overreacted and I said the things that I said. But yes, I'm glad nothing bad happened to Willow. We arrived in time. We saved her. But like, yeah, like that's another instance of like Buffy's not just she's not matching the people's she's around with, like, kind of like where they're coming from. Even though Willow just told her and she didn't listen. But hey, Spike kind of grounded her. So thanks, Spike, I guess. I don't fucking know, dude. Like, I always feel weird about Spike. Yeah, and the episode ended with I do have to say that I thought that Glory's minions heard that it was Dawn, because we had a scene where explicitly the minions went and were at Buffy's window. Am I crazy? That happened. Yeah, that did happen. Yeah, that was the transition. I'm looking at them. It's two minions and they were outside of Buffy's home watching Buffy and Dawn. And then Buffy and Dawn just straight up, like, Dawn says, like, I'm not real. Keys don't need to study or whatever. Like, I don't know what the fuck she said, but she just out loud confirmed, like, I'm the key. And I thought in my head, like, oh, they know now. But no, I don't think that that's the case. Maybe they just didn't hear through the glass, but like, why would they be there if not to show us that they learn about Dawn from that interaction? Because what happened then at the ending of the episode is that Glory arrives to like fight them again for revenge or whatever. It's like, I told you there would be payback or whatever. And when she does that, Tara is the one that's just like, oh, Dawn is the, essentially. She doesn't say it in those words, but that's essentially the confirmation that she says. It's like, oh, Dawn in the light, like that's so bright or whatever, so green. And then Gloria is like, oh, it's you. But then that completely defeats the purpose if the minions had been the reason why she learned that information. So I don't think that the minions heard that information. So like, I don't know why they were there. I thought for like the entirety of the episode after that scene that they knew that Dawn was the key, and I was waiting for that to drop. And I thought it would be dropping at the end of the episode. It didn't. She came for revenge, for fight. And then she learned what the key was through Tara. Which again, Tara cannot help herself, where she's just saying shit. And those are the people that can see the key, right? We've seen that before with... What the fuck is the Byzantium? I'm sorry, I just remember that those guys exist. They exist and they showed up like once. The Knights of the Byzantium or whatever. Like, they have to come into play here soon. Also, I feel like we're starting the finale now. I mean, I think it's 3 episodes ago, right? So if 3 episodes ago, I think we're gonna get maybe a 3-episode finale, which is longer than usual. We usually get 2-episode finales. Unless at the final episode, we get another Restless that is just completely... I don't fucking know what that is, dude. 3 to go. And it seems like things are kicking off right now. Alright, Buffy's gonna get juicy after this. And I no longer care. Well, I care because a part of me is holding on to hope that maybe Tara will get better. I don't think that she will. I'm just accepting it. I might be coping a little bit when I say it, but because like mostly I'm just covering my bases, because whenever I say anything, a lot of the time I don't really believe in it. I just say things that in my head make sense, and then I just mentioned them as possibilities, but I feel like I've just given up. I feel like I've just accepted like the death of like my favorite thing. Tara's gone, and I'm just, I don't know. I hope that Faith shows up as a regular. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm just like, I need a substitute. I need something to keep me going. Because Buffy's not gonna do it for me. Fucking Willow, Sander, and Giles are not gonna do it for me. Anya is devolving rapidly. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm half joking, half not. I think that's gonna be it. I don't know what else to say about this episode. I'm emotionally drained. I was emotionally drained like an hour ago. Like before the episode ended, I was just like gone. So like, I feel like I need time. Whatever, dude. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go. It's also like almost 1 a.m. Like it's late into the night. I just want to like disappear. So I'm just gonna end this, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna make some food probably, and then I'm just gonna die. Goodbye. Hi, hello. I'm recording an extra thing here. I've calmed down. It's been I don't know how long it's been. I think it's been a day and a half, something like that, since I watched the episode. Sorry, my life has been a blur since I watched that episode. Yeah, I watched Tough Love, and I've been coping, thinking about it since. And I think it's pretty clear that when I watched it originally, I was just going through the 5 stages of grief. Maybe I invented some new stages, but as a result of that, I didn't have the usual like afterthoughts discussion that I tend to have whenever I watch an episode, because I was just emotional. Okay, what I kept thinking about is that maybe I should talk about the scene where Tara and Willow fight. And like part of the reason why I didn't talk about that is because like honestly, when I watched that, I just saw it as like, oh, this is the fight that they need to have in order to make her death more tragic. Like, that's all I saw it as. I didn't think about it too, because like, even when it was happening, that's when I said, if something happens to Tara, I will burn down this house. Like, that's when it happened. Because in my head, I was already I was already seeing like the strings being pulled, and I was like, this is just a tragic fight scene in order to make me feel like shit whenever she actually dies. She didn't die, she got her brain eaten, but it's kind of the same thing. So that's kind of the reason why I didn't talk about it, because to me it's like obvious that that's what it is. But maybe we should talk about it. We should maybe talk about Tara's final moments as an actual human being on this earth before she got her brain destroyed. And it's tragic that, yes, they do, like, this is kind of a trope. It's like a couple that fights, and it doesn't always have to be a couple, but it's like two characters who have a bond, and they have some kind of argument or fight that ends up in a situation where they split apart, and that's when tragedy strikes, and then that just makes you feel like shit. That is like the worst thing that could possibly happen, and it's something that happens a lot actually in media. I mean, my immediate example, because I'm JoJo brained, is Joseph and Caesar. I guess soft spoilers for JoJo. That's what I saw it as. But maybe we should talk about it, because okay, they're talking about something that to me is somewhat real, and it's that, okay, so Tara feels like she is kind of the senior partner, more so that Willow feels like she's the junior partner. Like, that's what she says. But that also goes both ways. Tara feels that way because Tara is the one that asked Willow about it, and that is something we have seen. I feel like that's the impression we get, is that Tara is the one that is more wise and knowledgeable, and Willow kind of defers to her for a lot of things. That's how I felt. That's how I've been feeling this whole time. And Tara is confronting her about it because maybe she doesn't really like that. Because Tara just, like, okay, it's weird whenever you're in a kind of partnership with someone else and you are kind of putting them on some level in a pedestal. Like, you are kind of turning them into some kind of icon. And I don't think Willow is actually doing it super badly here. I don't think she's actually doing something extremely wrong or anything like that. But I think that she's definitely seeing Tara as something more than what Tara is. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that's what the dynamic comes across. And Tara can see that, and that's what she mentions to Willow. And Willow just kind of says, yeah, like, sometimes I feel like I am kind of the junior partner in this relationship. Tara tries to kind of deflate that and say like, you know, like, you're really good. Like, sometimes I feel frightened by what you're capable of. And Willow takes that and she immediately feels like, she talks about a Freudian slip. It's like, you know, Tara said something that it kind of indicates towards the fact that Tara feels somewhat intimidated by Willow on some level. And that is just, I mean, if you think that is just kind of offensive of like, oh, your partner doesn't really love you as much as they're afraid of you, which in a weird way, it's also like you're feeling that your partner is also putting you, they're also assigning you a role, like a power role, instead of just being your equal. And Willow doesn't really like that, and doesn't like the fact that Tara would see it as something that's like, you know, frightening. So then she takes offense to that. And it's honestly really sad to see Tara just kind of, she's trying to deflate this because that clearly isn't what she meant. But then Willow just fucking blows that shit out of proportion. And it actually is, okay. And then it devolves into Tara starting to trying to talk about like, you know, like Willow is changing a lot. And because Willow changes a lot, like, she's not really unsure of where Willow is going to go, what she's going to be like. So she's afraid of, you know, like what Willow could be tomorrow, right? Like, maybe this isn't the person I fell in love with. Maybe she's not gonna love me forever. And then it weirdly turns into like, I don't know how much of a lesbian you are. I don't know if that is the direction I would have taken that discussion, but sure, let's say that is a concern of Tara, because I can actually see that. I can see Tara just being so self-conscious that she is just afraid of her girlfriend leaving her. Like, that just makes sense to me. It doesn't even have to be about gender or like sexuality. It's just like, yeah, I'm afraid of her leaving me. Like, that to me makes sense. Like, after all, Willow has been a lesbian for like a year. So like, I'm not gonna say that it would make sense for her to just stop, but it is one of those cases where like, maybe Tara is so self-conscious that I can see her just being like, well, you know, she's young, she might just be experimenting, I don't know. But I think that's more on Tara being so self-conscious about her position in Willow's life, more so than actually just a commentary on lesbians. Also, bisexuality exists. I think it's just Tara being self-conscious. But yeah, and it's weird that that's where Tara kind of takes it, or at least she admits it. And I think that it makes some level of sense for Willow to be kind of offended by that. Because stop when you're offended about someone else just questioning your sexuality. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense. You know, if someone question your sexuality, if your partner question your sexuality, there has to be a level of like, come on, girl, like, how many nights do we have to spend together before like it's clear like what this is? So at that point, you're kind of insulting the state of your relationship. So yeah, I can see how Willow would get offended by that, but at the same time, I can't really be upset at either of them, because one, I understand that Tara is extremely awkward and extremely self-conscious, and two, I understand that Willow honestly has kind of a reason why to feel offended by it if somebody questions that, if your partner questions that, because then you kind of start questioning your partner, because like, it's almost as if your partner didn't trust you. So then you start questioning them because it's like, oh, you don't trust me, and then you start feeling betrayed. That makes sense. But when all of them just step back, I think it's extremely clear for us to see that Tara is just really self-conscious. So it makes a lot of sense for Tara to just start freaking out about something like that. And maybe she doesn't want to confront Willow about it, and Willow kind of had to drag it out of her. And to Willow, it might look like, you know, like Tara was hiding that from her. But the reality is that Tara is just afraid a lot of the times, always. So it makes sense for Tara to be that way. It's not really so much betraying Willow's trust as much as it is Tara just being afraid. And that's just on Tara overthinking everything, which is something she can no longer do, probably. I hate that. But okay, that kind of, okay, I feel like maybe this discussion kind of gives us a little bit more to chew on about what their argument was, which is something that makes sense to me. And it also makes a lot of sense because, like, we talked in episodes prior. What was the most recent one? It was the Dawn episode. What was the name of it? It was the episode where Dawn tried to bring Joyce back to life. Where Willow did a little magic pull in order to give Dawn the book. And I remember to myself, I was thinking, like, what the fuck is Willow doing? Like, I question her in the way that I always question Willow. Because I feel, and I was thinking about this too, like off camera. I was thinking about this because Willow strikes me, doesn't just strike me. This is what I see. Willow to me is the kind of person who, like, she spent her entire life being kind of a shy nerd, kind of meek, and she didn't really stand up to anything or anyone. And we have seen her gradually gain confidence as the show has progressed. And now we are at the point where, like, you know, she's an open lesbian. She's extremely forward sometimes. She can be extremely confident sometimes, to a detriment. And I think that makes sense because I think that a lot of us, whenever we experience events in life, we learn from them in a way that if you were to make a mistake, if you were to act in a way that was unwise, kind of selfish or impulsive or whatever, you would end up finding out what the consequences of that are. And then as a result of that, you end up defaulting to, oh, that felt bad, I'm not gonna do that again. And you learn, and you don't do that anymore. Because Willow spent her entire life kind of being shy and sheltered, that means that now that she's like a young adult woman, honestly, like late teenager, young adult, like she is finally coming out of her shelf and she's having these moments of confidence and just like very forward nature. And what happens as a result of that is that you end up making mistakes. You end up saying things that maybe you don't mean. You end up doing things that maybe are wrong. Like the way she was treating Anya during that episode where they had a body cop movie with Anya, with the troll guy or whatever. Like that was another example of like Willow just being like, what the fuck are you doing, girl? And I think that speaks a lot of the character that Willow is now. And it makes sense to me because if Willow is someone that has spent her entire life just being shy and sheltered and never taking a chance, now that she's overly confident, she's going to start learning what happens when you're overly confident and whenever you don't think through things through very well, or like whenever you are very selfish, you have an outburst of emotion and you let it happen, you immediately explode, you let it go, and well, you don't let it go actually, and then eventually you're gonna have to start running into consequences of that, and then you use those consequences, you know, as a way to learn and grow and become a wiser, better person. We have a clear example of that in the cast, and it's Giles. That's what I actually loved about Giles, is that what we saw about Giles is that when he was younger, he used to be this like cool guy and he didn't give a fuck about anything until he made like a dumb spell with his friends and one of his friends got killed. And as a result of that, he decided, I'm going to turn my whole life around. I'm going to be better. I'm going to learn, and I'm going to dedicate my entire life to my duty in order to do good. And the reason why he's trying to do good is because he's trying to make up for that feeling of I killed my friend. That's a personal motivation, and it's very real, and it's this guilt that eats at him. But that only happens after you have gone through the path of being extremely overly confident and selfish and not giving a fuck about consequences until they strike, and then your life is changed. But someone else had to pay the price for that. I think Willow is going through something similar, where Willow has been extremely confident as a result of just now finally coming out of her shell. And maybe that is something that a lot of us learn, maybe younger, whenever we're I don't know, 10 or whatever. Like, we have experiences where maybe we do something that then we regret. We see the negative impact that it has on the people around us. You know, like maybe you make fun of a kid in the neighborhood and then you see the effect that it has and you go like, oh, that felt bad. I don't want to do that anymore, right? Maybe you are the kid that is, well, Willow was probably the kid that was made fun of. So maybe she didn't learn that lesson from that perspective. She had to get the different perspective in order to get that. But like, yeah, like I think Willow is, I think that is Willow. That is what Willow is as a character right now. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I think that now Willow is probably going to grow as a result of what happened to Tara. And that sucks because we had to sacrifice Tara for it. Like, that's what I hate. But I can see how this is probably a learning moment for Willow, like, definitely. Because Willow is definitely going to be thinking about, like, the last moment we share was us fighting, and I completely, like, gave up on her. Like, I didn't believe her, I didn't trust her, and I just left. And I left her alone, and then this shit happened. And the reality is that, like, this is one of those instances where, like, if you step back for, like, an hour, maybe a little bit more, but, like, the next day you should be able to look at her and be like, yeah, sorry, I overreacted, you know? Like, I know that that's not what you meant. I know that maybe you are very self-conscious, and I should reassure you instead of push you away. Because we know that they love each other. Like, we clearly see that. That is very clear to us. So it's one of those instances where, like, because in that moment Willow just didn't give a shit and just let her emotions flow, then this happened. And whether or not that could have been avoided or not, because realistically, who could stop Glory? It doesn't matter. The fact is that things happened the way they did because of the events that led up to it, and we don't really have an answer as to what could have been the alternative. It's just like, no, you're just gonna feel like shit, and that's it. So yeah, I guess that is what I can say about Willow as a character. I'm sorry that it took me like a 2 days or whatever to record a segment where I can actually talk about, you know, some of the more juicy character bits about it, especially Willow, and a little bit of Tara here. But the reality is that, like, I watched that episode and I wasn't able to focus on anything. All I could think about is just like, yeah, Tara just died. Like, that's it. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I got nothing for you. I'm empty. Like, my life is over. I'm done. which is something I don't want to. I kind of said something similar to this before, but it's like, I don't want to sound like I don't care about the show anymore, because that's not true. I do, but I care about the show significantly less than I did yesterday or like 2 days ago, because like a huge chunk of what I cared for was Tara, and the fact that this happened to Tara just. I just feel so defeated. I have explained this before. Maybe I can actually hold on to Dawn, and that can be something that I care about. And that's probably what's going to happen. But, like, I've explained this before, that, like, Buffy, to me, Buffy Summers, the character, is not a character I necessarily feel much towards. I can sympathize for her. I felt really sad whenever a lot of things were happening to her this entire season. But even this episode, there was a line that she said that I remember, and it was very sad, which was like, you think I don't have a life? No, that's wrong. I have Dawn's. And that's sad, because that just tells me that she's just given up on her life and she decided to live vicariously through Dawn. And that's also unfair to Dawn in the like amount, in the weight that she's putting on her, but she's also not asking for help for herself, which she clearly needs, you know, Buffy herself. I already spoke about that, and that's sad. That makes me feel sad. I don't necessarily relate to Buffy at all. Zero. Like, not one bit. I mean, sometimes a little bit, depending on the episode, sometimes. But generally speaking, Buffy Summers is not a character I much connect with. And that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna say that is a requirement for something to be enjoyable. And especially to me. Like, I don't think so. I think I can enjoy this show, and I have enjoyed the show just by its writing and its direction and just whatever the fuck it's doing with its characters. Like, I enjoy the show as it is, but whenever I encounter characters that really do it for me on like a personal level, that becomes such a shining, like, golden star of something that motivates me to tune in every episode. I just lost Tara, and I lost my shining star. That's how I feel. And I'm not going to dismiss the rest of the show as a result of it. I know I did whenever I recorded the episode, but that's just because I was emotional, right? Actually, my editor pointed something out to me, and it's kind of funny because it's a nice parallel. And it's like, you were acting like Willow. You were like, I don't give a fuck about anything. I'll just die. And I was like, yeah, that was me, actually. I didn't give a fuck if Willow died in the same way that Willow didn't give a fuck if Willow died. We were actually on the same page there. I didn't care about anything. I was just like, yeah, like Tara's dead. I'm done. Fuck this show. Like whoever dies doesn't matter to me. Like that's where I was at. But realistically speaking, after I calmed down, I'm like, no, that's not really how I feel. But you have to understand that that's the emotional like connection that I had to that character. And I keep talking about her as if she was dead. She's not dead, but she kind of is dead because the character that existed that we knew as Tara is gone. And now we have a husk of what used to be Tara. And it is like maybe 10% of Tara, 5% of Tara. I don't know whatever percentage of Tara is in there, but it's like a percentage of Tara. But most of her is gone. And maybe she could come back. I don't know. I'm still coping out of my mind here in saying that maybe she could come back in some weird supernatural way, because this is a supernatural show, anything could happen. But I still feel like I should have apologized for it. Might come off as very uncaring of me to just like focus so hard on Tara and ignore everything else. But that's just the way the character did it for me. And that happens rarely with me whenever it's like a specific character. I actually don't do that often enough. And whenever I do, it's just it's because I really, really care about this one character. Because for whatever personal reasons that maybe I explained before, maybe I didn't, but there has to be a connection that I have that then just completely warps the entirety of the show around that character, and that makes you care so much more. But it's not something that always happens, but it did with Tara. Previous to Tara, it happened a little bit with Faith, but I also felt like Faith was more fascinating than it was with Tara. I feel like Faith was a fascinating character that I thoroughly enjoyed seeing whatever the fuck happened around her. I feel like with Tara, I never wanted to see anything bad happen to Tara. With Faith, I just kind of accepted that was going to be the case, because Faith is a character where like bad shit happens to her and around her all the time. That's kind of the point of the character. With Tara, it just felt like, all right, this is a puppy that I have to take care of. And then she got shot in the head. And I'm just like, all right, like that's it. I don't know. Like, I just feel like shit. That was my favorite puppy. It was a lesbian puppy. It's funny because also my reaction to this episode, I only ever had this reaction once before. I guess I had a little bit of a similar reaction in like I Was Made to Love You at the end, because it was just really sudden. But that wasn't the exact same reaction. The exact same reaction I had to this episode happened once before, and it was in Chainsaw Man episode 8 Gunfire. At the very end, whenever something very similar happens, and my reaction was the exact same. The credits started rolling, I grabbed my glasses, and I slammed it into the ground. This time I slammed it into my bed, so it was actually better, and my glasses didn't break. But in Chainsaw Man, it was just straight up the floor. I didn't give a fuck. But that was the exact same reaction. It only happened once before. So that's how much Tara means to me. Okay, sorry. Anything else I want to talk about? I mean, there was one thing that I don't know what to make of this scene where Buffy quits college or like drop off of her classes and like her like poetry class or whatever. I don't know if I've ever seen this professor before. I don't think I did. I feel like I need to. There is something for me to grab onto this scene, and I didn't, and I don't know what it is. Like all I can think about immediately is this is kind of to show us like the final moments of Buffy in college, of like Buffy's normal life, I guess. Like that's all I can think about, because okay, Buffy says that she's just quitting the semester or whatever. I think she's quitting college. Like I think that she doesn't know it yet, but I think this is it. Like I think that she's just gone. She's just gonna go and try to find something she can do in order to support Dawn, and that's kind of it. I don't think that Buffy is actually going to come back. I think this might be goodbye to her normal quote-unquote life. And I think she's just fully stepping into adulthood after this. So maybe that's what that scene is. It's supposed to be this signifier of like, this is Buffy finally just like leaving the nest, so to speak. She's just stepping into adulthood. She's gonna go deal with adult shit, you know, taking care of Dawn, acting like a mom, working, whatever. That's what I'm thinking that scene might be. It's just like the final goodbye to university. Oh, we had a couple of weird transitions in this episode that I also don't know what the fuck to make of them. Buffy says, maybe those, and hopefully I'll come back next semester when I'm more myself again. But when we hear When I'm More Myself Again, it also transitioned to fucking Ben, which I guess is kind of, you know, Ben being himself again. And a transition like that happened like 3 times in this episode. I can't find them right now because I would have to skim through the whole thing. But that was just something interesting about the direction of the episode. And I don't know what to make of it. I think that's it. I don't know what else I can say. I really just wanted to talk about that scene with Willow and Tara, because again, that was just like the final scene we'll ever get, maybe, of Tara being a normal human being with feelings and thoughts that we should consider. And also says a lot about Willow that we can like actually put together, and it makes sense actually. So yeah. Okay, I just added like an extra half an hour to my video. Fuck my life. All right, I'm gonna chop this down and I'm gonna put it on my timeline. All right, take care, everybody. See ya. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you'd like to watch the next 2 episode reactions already, as well as full-length reactions, you can do so over at the Patreon. Check out the link in the description below. Pop up on the screen. Bye.